Welcome everyone to another episode of Around the Edge. Tom Ahles, co-founder, managing partner here at Edge Home Finance. Today, get the honor and privilege to sit with my my new friend, Josh.little. Josh has been with us now for, what's it been, 3 months?
No,
4
not
months?
even. I'd say 6 weeks.
6 weeks.
Wow. 7 weeks?
Wow, that's it. So,
not 2 months yet, but
that's awesome.
We're getting there.
That's it seems longer than that, but that's probably because you're here all the damn time, like me, right?
I wouldn't want to be anywhere else.
I like it. I like it. So you joined us roughly 6 weeks ago. You worked for Fairway, right?
Yep.
Came from the retail monster, and that's actually where you got your start in this industry, right?
Yeah.
And you were doing insurance before, is that right?
Yeah. So I went to Bethel, 12 to 16 probably, flew to Australia for a year, had some fun there, and then I started at State Farm actually. No joke about that.
Shout out State Farm.
Shout out. I did that for about a year and a half, and realized it wasn't going to be the spot for me. Then I got into corporate reinsurance, so insurance for insurance companies.
Okay.
Kind of a different world, and came to find it just was not the spot. Very old school model grind. Love the people, everyone was great, but the numbers of it was
takes
just
a long time
too
to
much.
build up to where you're actually pros and cons with the insurance industry, right? I mean, you get residuals, which you don't have in the mortgage industry.
Correct.
Even though I think you do, it's just done a little different. But good. Well, I'm glad you made that switch. I always like to give our listeners an opportunity for them to get to know you, and truthfully for me too, because all that I know about you so far you said 6 weeks, is you have amazing work ethic. You're positive. You're you're one of those people that I'm glad we have around, as you make all of us better so far being around. And I say so far because you never know what's going to happen when we go to the new
Things can change pretty quick.
Just kidding. So what I want to rewind here, and I always like to get, I'll just call it the origin story, right?
Yeah,
like
right on.
You shared a little bit of it that you went to Bethel. We'll get to that, but where did you grow up? Are you from Minnesota?
So I'm not Canadian.
Okay.
I think Trino's been chirping a little bit for the last few weeks.
That's true. I have heard that a lot.
He's a good hockey guy, so I love that. But
so born
and raised in Canada. So Fort St. John, BC.
Okay.
So it's western side.
British Columbia,
British
right?
Columbia, yep. So Vancouver's on the coast, but Fort St. John's like more north of BC near the Alberta border. So you're kind of more Alaska. Like you're going up towards Alaska route.
So all your family still live there?
So my parents are in Kelowna, BC, which is kind of called the Okanagan. It's the middle between Vancouver and Calgary.
Okay.
So it's like the hot spot of Canada in the summer. Huge like lakes, wineries, apple orchards, mountains. It's beautiful there. So my mom and dad and little sister are there, and I have 2 sisters in California right now, and then it's me.
So you're the only one in the U.S.?
No, 2 sisters in California. Yep, and then
I missed
me.
that part.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So my mom was from California originally. Okay. And then met my dad in Philly.
Yep.
And then my dad took her to Canada, to like freezing, just northern Canada. And then she became a hockey mom and all that good stuff. So it's, we're Canadian to the core for sure.
That's awesome. I think Canadians and Minnesotans mix pretty well because you don't even notice the difference. Like
same accent.
Yeah, it's
that's debatable, Jake. Come on.
It's right up there.
It's we could throw a couple more A's in there.
So how did you end up? I guess I know the answer. I was going to ask how you ended up in Minnesota, but it was you came to Bethel, right?
Nope.
No. Okay,
no, before that. So that's why we're on the show, right?
That's it.
Yeah, so when I was 15, so I grew up playing hockey. It was a pretty big part of my life. And Calgary is the main city there where I grew up, but we live 15 minutes outside in a smaller town. And so hockey was, maybe a slight step below than if you were playing on a city team, right? Sure. Just numbers-wise, and hockey in Canada is crazy. And so, there was another school in the city there that I was trying to get on that team or whatever, but they wouldn't let me play on the team because I didn't live in the city limit. Yep. And so we kind of just started looking for different spots for me.
Yeah.
And, Shattuck St. Mary's, which is a pretty well-known hockey prep school here in Faribault, down south a little bit. They'd been coming up to a tournament in Canada and smoking everyone.
Yeah.
And, there's just a long line of pretty good players that played there. And that just opened the door for me to check it out. And so it's kind of funny. We didn't want to move 15 minutes, but they shipped me down here by myself for my first year. And when I was 15, I moved here and went to prep school and lived in the dorms. And
No way.
yeah, so that's 16 years ago. Kind of crazy.
Wow.
Yep.
So you went to high school basically almost in a college setting as a prep school, right?
Yep.
So, and that was, like you said, 16 years ago. Wow, that's
pretty crazy.
That is crazy. So after you get done with high school, then that's when you went, did you go straight to Bethel at that point?
High school would have been like 15 to 18, right?
Yeah.
Approximately. So I graduated 2010. Kind of had some stuff happen during high school, just injury-wise and whatnot, which put my hockey a little behind. So I played some...
Let's get into that real quick.
Uh-oh.
If you want to. I'm not trying to skip over the origin story.
No, you're good.
I like it.
No, you're good. Just my sophomore year, I kind of had a tough injury from an accident and, missed my whole sophomore year of high school, which was a pretty big bummer. Obviously.
What was the injury?
So I had a problem with like my sit bone essentially. So it's like your groin, your hamstring, your adductors, they all kind of loop into those two sit bones.
Yep.
Like if you're sitting on a wooden chair, you kind of feel that spot. It's not a typical injury. They kind of say it's nothing really happens to that spot unless your body's really pushed past like its limit essentially. And so, there had just been this situation where this guy had like flipped off a lawnmower, one of those big John Deere driver lawnmowers, like flipped off this like 10-foot ledge where he was like mowing lawn on like a 45-degree angle and then fell onto like the sidewalk off this huge drop. And I was just 16 at the time and, ran like a football field length away to kind of not save him, but maybe like it was, it's a little blurrier these days, but it was a panic situation of like this guy's screaming for help. And I was 16, probably $150, 40, I don't even know, doing anything I could to kind of lift the lawnmower just enough so that he could kind of slide out. And and then it was during tryouts and went back to hockey that night and then just something was off.
Tell it was off.
Yeah, it was off. So I kind of missed the whole year pretty much, which was tough based off of like being where I was and then the year after my junior year, it took me a couple months to even get my feet. It was still healing up, so I didn't really catch up until senior year when I made the prep team and everyone was already kind of had scholarships and people were getting drafted and to the NHL and stuff like that, and you were kind of behind the 8 ball of a year and a half of not really playing. And so it kind of part of the story. And so to answer,
it's pretty interesting though. I mean, I gotta say, it's a heck of a lot better than like hurting yourself checking your own mail or mowing your own lawn. You know, I mean, you have some. It just kind of shows your character, right? I think regardless where you're from, I'm not going to hold it against you. You're from Canada.
Never gonna hear the end of this.
You're a good person and do the right thing to help people. So that's,
I appreciate it.
That's really neat. I'm glad Jake stepped in and asked to get a little deeper on that. So all right. So
you want after high school though, right?
Huh?
You want after high school now?
Oh yeah.
So before we get to Bethel, so basically it's the hockey thing. Graduated in 2010, so I was still trying to like make it right. So I'm sure you've heard of junior hockey, where it's basically the in between high school
it's like
and college.
Semi-pro, right? Or a little bit of
So unless you're like an absolute stud and you go straight to college, like probably 90% of hockey players will play junior hockey in some form before college. So I did that for about a year and a half and bounced around. I kind of was in Canada, Manitoba, Michigan, Ontario, kind of everywhere, jumping around. Just wasn't we had some family stuff and hockey kind of got put on the back burner and the injury. And so I just wasn't really in my zone, I guess you could for the easy way to say that. And Yeah, and then my injury came back actually my second year. So that same injury kind of from 3-4 years before it kind of re-aggravated.
Yep.
So that was my second year of juniors when I was about 20. So that kind of stopped hockey for me pretty much, which was a bummer.
Yeah.
I was still trying to like play hockey, and then it was still like, well, I can still play D3 because there's no D2, and so Minnesota was, I had some, I had played here and knew a few people, so it's kind of the short story of the junior hockey piece, and went home, worked for a bit, and then I was still trying to play hockey D3, and that's where I was kind of looking at Bethel and St. Thomas and Hamlin and some of those spots. But
so did you play hockey at Bethel then?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
Didn't.
Injury just.
Just was helping with the team for a bit, and that was kind of a problem.
Yeah,
for sure.
I can understand. Well,
but I'm healthy now, so that's thank goodness.
Good.
Yeah.
And now instead of trying to be on the NHL, you're trying to be on the leaderboard here at NHL Finance, which I like even better.
Yeah, the
and truthfully, I think it even pays better. So, and less chance of injury.
Yeah. So to just probably the low back sitting at the desk, but we'll get a standing desk soon, right?
That's true. That's true.
That's
New
gonna be a
office
game
is
changer.
coming with standing desks. So you went to Bethel. Obviously, I knew you from the group of people. I seem to, and when I grew up as a Lutheran, so not that I don't know if that matters, but I know a lot of people from Bethel. It's weird. I don't know if I just got thrown into the mix of meeting one person, and then and you and I kind of met from the same situation.
Yep.
Like you were in mortgages, but working for Fairway, as we talked about.
Yep.
But we knew a lot of the same people.
Yeah,
right?
100%.
And I
Definitely.
think we kept. I wouldn't say running into each other, but I would hear or see okay, I could see your work ethic from afar.
Yeah.
And then, you finally, I think, how did you get introduced to us? I don't recall. Well, it was an agent, right? Now I remember.
Yeah, it was steady.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
It was Sam Stedman. Shout out Sam Stedman. He was.
He's all right. He's,
He's actually on
maybe
vacation.
we'll get him on here one day.
I will. At our new office, we'll have him on here. He's a wicked smart guy and just a hard worker. He's as you know, him and all of the guys that are on his team, which he just closed a deal with the other day.
Yep.
On one of them.
We'll keep it rolling. But he's in Florida slacking right now.
Shocker.
Can't be working too hard.
Finally took a little time for himself. That's good. So,
but
when you and I spoke, though, we were introduced by an agent who really, I can tell you what he said to me, but he was like, Tom, this guy really is good at what he does. Mm-hmm. But where he works, it's like, a lot of agents are starting to see this. And I think this has been a big reason for the migration that we've seen.
Yeah.
A lot of retail loan officers coming over to the wholesale channel are asking themselves, well, wait a minute. Why, if I can give better interest rates and make more money, what am I missing? Right? And I think you were asking that too when you first came over. Am I correct?
Yeah, I guess to some extent it's you don't know what you don't know. I have nothing bad to say about where I was before. They were awesome to me.
Yep.
Great people, really showed me the road to get to where I am now, and I'm extremely grateful for that. But obviously you have a conversation with a close friend that's obviously knows you, works with you, says extremely good things, and you don't know what you don't know.
Yep.
And so having that conversation with you really opened my eyes to the other side of the world. And yeah, I'm sure there's butting heads on, I get it. There's competition and whatnot, but bottom line is I saw the benefit to my clients, and that benefit has already got me a few deals since being here in 6 weeks. So it's, just like being able to control it myself, right? Like we talked about, I don't have to ask you to do something. I obviously ask you questions. What's your, what do you think I should do in this situation?
Yep.
Maybe. But it's not like you're not telling me you can't do this or can't do that.
You need to make 400 basis points on this loan or else not. Yep, 100%.
So that's been cool to just see the other side of it, and definitely a learning experience though, for sure. So I'm glad I've had that past of some basics, but now just kind of putting it together on the broker side is extremely beneficial.
What would you say has been something I would say the most least expected thing coming from where you were prior to either, and this can be good or bad. I mean, this is a podcast that we primarily share with our team, but it's important to know the insight. Like when someone is coming from your position where you didn't have a lot of experience, but you're smart and you learn, you pick up things to where you don't need much hand holding at all. I think even like you said, you may ask me a question from time to time, but you typically always already have the answer. You're just double checking. I notice a lot of times, which is good. So in your experience since you left, like what has been some of the things that either good and bad that you weren't prepared for?
Yeah, I think I was expecting it's going to be a big change in the sense of like just more to learn with getting the systems dialed in, getting a little more organized, which I think it is for sure, right? I think I was used to, you get that one system.
Correct. They did all of the things for you, right? Yep. I mean, they did your CRM. They had
so you kind of had that all in one spot. And so now it's like you come to this side and you got to kind of get reorganized, just with your contacts and all that stuff, kind of rebuild a little bit. So there's that piece with our core system, lending, which I've liked as well, though. Like the system, the lending pad is so basic.
It is.
There's a few things I'm still learning. So, but I think overall, compared to what I was used to, it's a lot easier to pick up.
What are you guys using? Encompass?
Encompass, yeah. So, which was good. I guess that's all I knew. I feel like it was kind of slow a little bit. So this is nice that it's on like the browser and you can just roll through that. So more just learning that process of like bringing it to the lender, like just that process.
Sure, the extra step of exporting it from Lending Pad, putting it into the lender site.
Which is nothing crazy though. If you have it cleaned up in Lending Pad and then you shoot it over, it's just kind of double checking, make sure it looks good.
Yeah.
Right? You can always.
And I still think because you're 6 weeks in, that's still a learning curve that you got the basics, right? Yep. You know how to close loans. I'm not worried about that. But then now like building a tech stack to make sure like, okay, hey, am I communicating with all of my past clientele? You've only been in the industry a short amount of time. So it's pretty easy for you. I'll tell you, for me, looking back, I spent the first 10 years of my career in a situation where I never kept any of my database, right?
Really?
It was, because truthfully, I don't think that I saw the value in
staying in touch.
Because for me, it was always like I'm chasing a new rabbit out of the hole, right? So we were always going consumer direct, who needs something now? And that's where my focus was where, truthfully for you, starting out in this career now, like 2 years ago, roughly, it's like prime time for you, I would say now to like, okay, what is going to be something that you own, which is really your book of business. So you understand the value of that coming from the insurance agent side, but your book of business, your client database is valuable, right? Like for me, when I look at, and I've been obviously, since we started Edge in 2011, I've obviously had a CRM. So now going back, it's so easy for me to identify, hey, who is at this point? What can I do to communicate with them? Like it makes it instrumental for you having long-term success. So I'm excited for you to dive into that that piece of it. So we got the difficult part, right? I think that was the difficult part, right? Yeah. It's learning new systems. You're in charge of building what you want to have. You have to, maybe an extra step because you do have to export the loan, import it into. What's been one of the better things? Like, give me an example of something that you think is better than you anticipated.
Yeah, well, that's a good question. I would say it's better as things are just blowing up right now. That's the better part. Yes. It's kind of crazy. I know we've just been in the office here. I'm like, boom, another one. Yeah. Another one.
Yep.
Wait, I just got another one.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on here? Which is just awesome. I think it's a culmination of obviously joining this side, open maybe a couple opportunities, but also the length of time being in the business of like one of those deals with someone I had a vague conversation with probably a year ago.
Yeah.
Never did anything with them. They didn't do an app, this or that. And then just boom, out of nowhere. they want to
back.
buy a house, and
Yep.
it happened in like a week, right?
Yep.
So that's kind of the database thing where, and I'd probably texted them, probably a month earlier, probably right when I was starting. I was like, hey, just checking in, like, what's going on? I know we have talked like a year ago briefly, right?
Yes.
So that's just been, that's been the good side, mixing that with having to learn. So it's been, it's been a lot of work. I feel like I've put a lot of hours in the last 6 weeks just to kind of get ramped up. But seeing the fruits of your labor of a year or so ago, and then, that's exciting. So and I know we're just not even cooking, cooking yet.
Yes.
So that's the fun part.
I like it. I think
it gets you fired up. That's for sure.
And I mean, you shared a number with me, right? I think last year, and I say 2022, right? You did 13 purchase transactions. Is that right?
Yeah, I think I had 16
total.
Yeah, I know some of them probably didn't pop up on the system. So
so 16 total in 2022.
Yeah, essentially got licensed last January, right?
Yep.
So it took a few months to kind of get rolling and all that, and so.
And you just closed. I know you just closed one the other day.
Yeah.
But outside of that, then how many do you have in underwriting right now?
Yeah, I got 6 in underwriting right now, so that's
a good month now.
That's gonna be it'll be a nice April, but that's like I'm pumped for my clients more than me, obviously, but
yes,
it's exciting. For
obviously
for me too, right?
It should be. You're working hard though. I mean, you deserve it. There hasn't been excuses. I mean, the cool part that I've noticed is even like, hey, I'm coming in Saturday, and I don't say this to make other people come in, because I'm coming in because I like being on top of things, and B, you know how it goes. Sometimes there's more work than there is time. So I have to find the times to make it happen.
Totally.
Where hopefully I'm not sacrificing my family's time either. So like
Healthy
weekends are a
balance.
little tougher, but I think my daughter had practice, my wife had a hair appointment or something. I'm like, this is perfect.
That's my 4-hour window.
That's it. So I came
Take the dog and we're good to go.
That was it. Buddy did come into the office with us that day. But it was cool because you were like, oh, you're going to be here tomorrow? Oh, cool. I'll just let me know what time. I'm going to be there too. I got a lot of stuff to do. And it's just good to see. I think a lot of people get stuck in like so focused on trying to find business that they lose sight of like, I don't even know how to explain it. Like they lose sight of like what it really takes to build relationships. Mm-hmm. And that's something I see you're doing. Even when you talked about, I had a client a year ago, but I sent him a text message. Yeah. Your cell phone is the original, I can't say original, but it is the master CRM. Yeah. Right? Yep. Like it's all it takes. Yep. A simple, I try every day to reach out to 3 people that I haven't talked to in a while. Then sometimes it can be a family member, sometimes it can be a friend, sometimes it can be a past client. Sure. That's the key, like staying top of mind, staying engaged with people to where like they think, oh yeah, I remember that guy. I talked to him a year ago, and
all right.
Might be the right time now to where now he's back into the market. So it's really cool. We say you don't have a CRM yet, but you do. Yeah, it's your iPhone.
It's a nice Excel doc currently.
Yes. Okay. Oh, there you go.
With the cell phone.
Yes.
But we'll ramp it up to something official here soon.
I like it. So, less than 2 months in, we've got a President's Club trip this year. We got to average 5 units per month, so it's 60. I have a good feeling that you may be going on vacation with us next year if you keep it up.
Where are we going?
Yeah, that's to be determined. Okay, right?
All right. Hawaii. Is it based off of the when I started, or am I going to have to basically?
When did you start? January, right?
No, I probably we could check, but I think probably end of February.
February, then it would go by the time you started. Yeah. Oh, okay, you get to 55, all right, you're good.
All right.
As long as it wasn't, long as you didn't start in like January 10th or something.
All right.
But that's good. Jake, I'm excited for it. I think I definitely think you'll be one of the ones that are gonna be there. Plus, we get the excitement of getting a new office here, which I think is gonna pick up. I mean, our morale's already pretty damn good in this office.
That's what I love. This office is just buzzing.
It's fun.
It's fun.
Love it. We got good characters.
See Jake every day. He's a good guy. And, honestly, I was gonna say something about that earlier though. The vibe at the office is just so conducive to getting stuff done.
It's fun.
And asking questions, the amount, Sid, Mike, Trino, Matt, Cornbert, everyone, like Howard. I've literally asked all of them multiple, so that's nice to have, like, even though they didn't bring me on or this or that, like, we're all here to win and help each other out, and they all have a lot more experience than me, so it's not.
They do.
It's good for me. Being probably the younger guy in this office is pretty big.
Besides Sid, I'm even probably, and I've been in it since 2001. Mike's been in it since like 1930.
I was going to say even earlier.
And then, you've got Andy's been in it a long time. Jake actually taught me the business. He was one of the first. Him and Fred Rogers were the first two loan officers.
Jake Kornberg.
Yeah, Jake Kornberg.
Yeah.
Not Jake.
Well played. I like that.
But they actually they taught me the industry.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of knowledge, but the cool part is, like, you have a choice whether or not you want to put yourself in that environment.
Yeah.
Just like you have a choice with real estate agents to put yourself in that environment.
Yeah.
Financial advisors. Like, I didn't, and I think when you started, I said, yeah, you can just hang out at my desk, and somehow you found yourself a spot, right? Like, it wasn't. You could tell the vibe here wasn't like, oh, this is my territory, or you did it, you fit in, you found your spot, you posted your flag, and you hustled, man. I just I can't tell you how happy I am that you made the choice to join us for a couple of reasons. One, I know for you it's better for your clients and consumers.
Yeah.
And two, selfishly, I really like your energy. I think it's fun, and I like the work ethic and hustle, and anyways,
appreciate it. No, it's good to be here. So.
Good. So, all right. So, give me an idea here. In the next 5 years, where do you see yourself in this industry?
Ooh, that's a good question. Crushing, that's for sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
What does that mean, though? Like, give me. Let's get a little bit more granular on this, right?
Yeah.
5 years from now, 2028, right? We hit back to, we'll call it 4% or 4.5% interest rates. We went through the cycle. What do you see as far as your goals in this industry? What do you want to accomplish besides crushing it? Because you're already gonna kind of crushing it. You got 9 deals in underwrite, or 6, 9, I don't know. You have a decent amount right now at a time.
Put a couple on top of it.
The average LO in this industry right now is closing 0.5 loans per month. So you're already crushing it. So
that's crazy.
5 years from today, what do you want to be working on?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's hard to pinpoint, like, it's not about, like, the numbers or the money you could make or any of that stuff. I think I'm gonna get emotional here, but I just want to do well for my family.
Yep.
We've gone through a lot, and it's just, they don't really have a lot.
Yep. Same with me.
So it's real stuff. Like, it's been tough, and I feel like I've had to step up for the family.
Yeah.
That's
exciting.
Yeah.
That's good.
So I really, like, that was, I was in the insurance stuff, and it was just like, it's like on the reinsurance side, it was more salary bonus, and very just felt kind of chained a little bit, just being in the corporate. That sounds bad, but you're just kind of grinding, and
right, 100%. The ceiling is so so low there that it's tough to reach for the ability to even say, like, I can actually help my family for once if I get to this point. It's like same for me. I mean, it's appreciate being vulnerable with that, but like, I came from a pretty, my mom might even watch this, Dad, but pretty poor family, right? To this day, my dad just had cancer, and my mom was sick, and I've had to help support them. And
totally.
It was something that, it's really cool that you brought that up, because it is, like, for me, when I look at what my goals are as well, it is to be the foundation for my family. And that's not just my family as in my wife and my daughter, but my mom and dad, my sister, my brother, like taking that role on. So,
no, it's like we that's awesome to hear. And like, you know, we didn't have a lot growing up. And then my dad kind of made some good money for a period of time, which kind of got me to come to prep school, you know, and that opened that door, which wasn't there before. Like we definitely, you know, it's like we joke about the big brown van that took me to hockey practice at 6 a.m. that didn't have heat, you know, and it's like a GMC travel van. Like we didn't have much growing up. And then we had some good stuff for 4 or 5 years, which was a huge blessing. And we were never the family to be like, we got money or whatever. But, and then just a bunch of stuff happened, and, you know, bankruptcy and losing houses and a lot of real stuff that really sucks. And, so yeah, like we're kind of getting out of that a little bit now, but like it doesn't, like, it's just that, you know, my parents don't have much. They're up in Canada and they're doing good. They're healthy, like all that, you know.
You're going to bring them back to Minnesota? Are you going to bring them to Minnesota?
They're working. And so it's, I saw my mom this summer, which was awesome. Hadn't seen her for a few years just because of COVID and all that stuff. And so yeah, to answer your question, like I just want to basically build that foundation. You know, I got 3 little sisters, so I'm the oldest, and I just feel like it's kind of on me to, you know, kind of rebuild and build,
create that foundation
for our family forever.
And for them. That's awesome.
And
that's
so I think like that's more of the goals for 5 years of like kind of rebuilding, you know, buying some real estate, you know, maybe have a family. We'll see how that pans out, but like ultimately if I have a spot for my parents to live down here one day, like I think they'd be open to that, and I would love to have that too. Yeah. So yeah, we'll see. Like that's really what drives me, and that's really it. It's not
that's beautiful. It really is. I would say that's another reason why you and I kind of clicked pretty early. Now hearing it, I mean that is 100%, you know, part of what my driving force is as well too. Really just stability, right? And that's where I've always been the one kind of, how do I want to say it, like risking, like I'm willing to take the risk, as you are, and to go into a career where the bottom is the bottom, you know, zero, right? I think to this point, now that I think about it, you haven't even been paid yet, right? It's been 6 weeks.
I was just going to say, it's so crazy. Like,
and I was thinking about this, like, wait a minute, you know the bottom, right? You're there. I mean, granted, your stock price is going up significantly right now. But truthfully, you bet on yourself, right? And it takes a lot of character to do that, especially doing it in a professional way that you're showing up, you're leading by example, and even the communication, like you care about your clients. This isn't something like, it's great that we get to make money. You know, I've said it before, money is a byproduct of success. And I think you're chasing the right things. You're chasing success, which is building a foundation. And that is, right now, I can tell you in that foundation you're building with the real estate partners you're working with, most of them are younger agents too. Like that's their career and livelihood.
Totally.
You got 30, I'll call it 40 plus years of most of these guys still being the old guys right now. Like I work with a couple old time real estate agents. Love them. I'm thankful for them, but they're damn near about to retire, right? So I think the average age of a realtor in our Minnesota market is like 56. So you're starting to see a lot of the younger teams come in and really dominate. And I think right now is that wave of young professionals coming in, and it's been good to have somebody else on the team that can service them with care and responsibility. So
that's what we're here to do.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
All right, so we got the origin story. We got the 5 years out. What else you want to talk about? Is there anything else you want to bring up or share with our audience today about who is... I think we got a pretty good chance to know you today. Like I said, I like these more than anything because how often do I get to spend 45 minutes talking? Normally it's like, I got to grab a call, I got to do this, I got to do this.
We get them before 8 a.m.
That's it.
It's time. I got to put you on hold there.
Which is why we do it so darn early in the morning, too, because then there's no excuses.
There's no one calling. Well, big hockey guy, as we've talked about. Calgary Flames fan.
Yes.
That's not a popular thing here, so I thought I'd get that out there to ruffle some feathers.
Yes.
It's not working well for me this year, though. It's we're on the outside looking in, so we're gonna need a pretty big miracle to make the playoffs. So I had to get that out there, though.
Got it.
Just so people know I'm not a Wild fan.
I understand.
But I'm probably gonna be jumping on the bandwagon here in like 4 weeks if nothing pans out here. But I guess I'll flip the script on you. If I can throw you a question here. Obviously you know what you're doing, right? You've built a pretty solid business here. If you were me and where I am now, what are one or two key things that I need to be doing and this isn't just for me, let's say anyone that's 1 to 3 years in this industry. Like, talk about a crazy time to start. I started last January, right when rates went up, right? Yep. So it's
this January, not last January, this January, right? January of 2023.
Well, yeah, with you guys per se. But
that's right. You did start the year before. I got you.
Yeah. So just for anyone newer in the industry, like cliche question maybe, but like how did you build your business to what it is now? Like what do I need to be doing, or anyone in my position need to be doing right now, so that in 5 years, we're up here.
It's a good question. Personally, I think it really comes down to one, not limiting yourself. Mm-hmm. Like even when I ask the question for a lot of people, like setting goals and understanding, like I think it's key to have a goal, like a 1-year goal. I have daily goals. Yeah. So for me, it's like I'm trying to figure out my daily goals, my 1-year goal, my 5-year goal. Yeah. My wife and I even got to a point here recently where like we realized, hey, we got to this point in our life now where like we're 40, kind of like the halfway point, I'll call it. And the goals that we set out when we were younger, we've achieved them for the most part. Now, granted, we still have our daughter that was one of the goals, to make sure that she gets a good education, is well balanced. But we've had to actually look at even resetting our goals now that we've hit that middle age mark, right?
Totally.
So goal setting is one. The other part that that you kind of asked is like, what should you be doing to get to where you want to be? And I think it really, where a lot of people fail, is understanding that relationships are very important. Yeah. Right? Definitely. And it's not so much like if I have an agent that says, hey, will you invest in leads with me? Well, no, I'm not going to do that. If I have a real estate agent that says, hey, we're going to have a client appreciation party to be able to come meet and shake hands, like, those are my kind of things. So
that's more my jam.
And I think like understanding how to, like, you're obviously a massive hockey guy, right? Like, how do you market that? Like, finding what you're passionate about, being you, but always doing it in a way that you're building your network, right? Maybe that means like right now when you're so swamped that, okay, wow, I've gotten 9 clients or 6 clients, I'm so busy. You need one more, right? I mean, so like, how do I continue prospecting even when, I'm busy?
Yeah, that's good.
For me, probably the first 10 years of my career were feast and famine. Man, I would go and just kill it, close a ton of business, help a lot of people. That stopped working.
They have nothing.
Until the money ran out. And the one thing that, really, it took me a long time to really learn this, but the one thing that relationship building helped me with is consistency then. Because I'm no longer chasing money. I'm chasing being the person that I want to be. Meaning, like, if I go and I meet you and even you, like, and all of a sudden I'm not holding up to who I said I was or who I am. You have to work on it consistently. So it's like with relationship building, it means that you need to be plugged in, right? So what I would say, for you to get where I think any of us want to get, being more successful, helping more people, it's putting yourself in as many circles as what you can that you can be authentic in, right? So, you know, for me, sometimes that's biking, sometimes it's BNI, sometimes it's, you know, I keep finding myself in different circles, but you need to make sure that you're not just stuck at your desk working.
Totally.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
no, that's good.
I did a bowling league for a while. I mean, it was
doesn't even like bowling.
I mean, honestly,
Pickleball.
I like social activities.
Yeah.
But I sponsored the damn bowling team, right? I mean, we were Cobra Kai, by the way. So we had it was pretty cool. We
had jerseys and everything too.
We did jerseys, but then I had it sponsored by, you know what I mean? Like, it's subtle branding, but I'm doing things that I like with people that I like. To where it doesn't become a grind. Right? Like, I don't, I don't want to say finally, but if I rewind back till prior to Edge, and I was in a transactional based business, I was chasing transactions instead of chasing relationships. And that was the biggest switch for me. Like, to realize, okay, listen, the more people that know me and know what I do, the better chance I got at them giving me a shot.
Definitely.
And I want to be fair, and even if I'm not the best, then I don't want them to use me. You know?
Totally.
Like, I'm okay with that. But I've realized the importance in placing value in relationships, and those take work.
Definitely.
So, you know, for you, is a great question, and I would say what you need to do is when you're busy, be a little busier. Right?
Find a way,
because I will tell you that, like, I am just as busy closing 10 loans a month as I was closing 50. So it's like, there will be time, you will build processes, but you got to keep putting yourself in a position to get to that next stage. Right?
Building more circles, which I feel like I do have, which is good. You know, it's like Bethel. I got.
Oh yeah, you got a lot of them.
Like coach hockey,
100%.
You know, and then I got church. I don't know. Just I feel like there's a lot of.
There's a ton, but it's like being intentional, right? Like you closed a transaction this week, and there was a listing agent that you made an impression on. Now, do you take that opportunity and send us a random text? Hey, I hope you're having a great day. It was good to close with you. That's how you invest into a relationship, right? There's nothing. You're not asking for business. You're literally like, hey, it was great to see you. I saw you represent your client well. You know, small things like that pay dividends bigger than anything else that you can do in this industry.
No expectation, just
be
building
you,
relationships.
right? The people are going to like you or they don't.
Yeah.
And you can't control that, but you can control the environment that you put yourself in.
Yeah,
right?
Definitely.
You can control whether or not I am going to reach out and even give this person the opportunity to see if they like me or if they think that I'm somebody of ethical standard that they'd want to work with.
Yeah, definitely.
But too many people get stuck in the business, and then I'm working all day and I'm trying to get these loans done and then you get the you get the whiplash effect. You know, like, oh, I'm so busy, and then I don't have any business, and it's just, that's not fun. You know. So consistency, always building out your circles, and just being authentic, right? And not being afraid to be who you are.
Totally.
Right?
Yeah. I like it.
So
notes taken.
Yeah, good.
It's all up here. It's all up here.
So we're gonna wrap on that. It's been a good episode. I appreciate you being here. Appreciate your work ethic. I really look forward to you crushing it, and
appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.